Hey, and welcome to the Bizarre Briefing for November 2016. I'm Bryce Castillo, joined as always with John Tilton.
Yo.
And Brandt Hughes.
Hi.
And this week, you might, if you're watching the video version, you see a new face.
Spoilers.
Hey, what's up?
What's
I'm
up?
Max.
We've got Max. We talked about it. We talked about him a lot last month.
Oh.
In generality, we didn't even say your name.
We
didn't know anything about you.
Yeah, to the
That
degree
guy,
that
that
only
guy.
John had met you.
Okay.
So.
Well,
We invited you, and then you weren't able
You
to
were
come.
busy.
Yeah.
You were busy.
And so
Yeah.
we just used that as an opportunity to talk about you without you
Mysterious.
being there. Yes.
Oh, great.
I apologize. We promised we didn't say anything bad. At least I hope not. You
We
can
didn't.
always watch the episode to verify what we said about you.
We did. We can,
I'm
we
not
can
gonna do
confidently
that.
say we
No,
didn't
I'm
say
not
crap
gonna do
about him. Come on. So let's start off with talking about Max. Max,
Yo.
what's your deal?
Yeah. What's your deal, Max?
Dude, I don't even know. I just, decided to move to Texas last month.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, you're real. Like you came here from Ithaca.
Yeah, upstate New York.
Upstate New York.
This tiny little iceberg of a liberal bubble town, way up there near the polar bears. And yeah, I just decided, well, I just graduated college. I think I'm gonna move down to Texas where it's nice and the people are nicer and the food is better and it's warmer and
Yeah.
winter's not a thing.
Boy, is it.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Though we do. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna get winter, and you're gonna be surprised.
See,
For like 5
you
days.
say that, yeah.
But it's not New York winter.
It's
Right.
not. It isn't New York winter.
So to him,
But-
at least for the first year,
Gonna say,
he doesn't get winter.
12 feet
Right.
of snow. It's like, I'll just grab the shovel. 2 inches here, they're like, people
Wait,
die.
Okay, but no joke. When the year I moved here, we got snow and freezing rain and freezing temps, and the whole city went bonkers. The highways
sure.
froze, and everyone's like, "I don't know what to do with this white
freezing
stuff."
rain. It's a spring day
Yeah,
in Ithaca.
so-
Nah.
Just I was a little disillusioned when it was cold the first time, because I expect Texas to be warm.
Right.
Not anymore. You have summer for about 9 months, and then fall for a day.
Yeah,
So
fall goes by so fast.
because
here.
they're really fast.
Didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're from New York. You moved here. You told me you moved here because of not for this, but for other reasons.
Yeah, no, I was just kind of there was a bunch of good stuff down here. I spent 4 years doing college radio, WICB. Oh, yeah. And that was fun. So I moved down here looking to do some radio gigs and always kind of been a sort of low-key fan of, everything that Schwood does. It's
Really?
kind of fun and interesting. Yeah. I actually met Daniel Martin a couple of years ago on a live tour, and it was like, oh, it's that guy, yeah. And when I got to Texas, I just realized it's like, wait a minute, they do this thing here. Oh, maybe I'll send an email. And John read the email, and
This was the funny thing is we were literally looking for people, to hire, and you didn't know we were hiring. Everyone else I think who contacted us knew that we were hiring, but you were just like, "Oh, gee, help!"
This is oblivious. Yeah.
We rarely look to add new people, so it was a weird timing.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah. No, I mean it's crazy timing. But that's similar to I've talked about my story on this show of just kind of coming down here and assuming there was a job because of one email that I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it being good timing. Welcome to the team.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
You're gonna kind of be doing sort of what John does as far as helping with the store stuff. Question mark.
Sort of.
Okay.
I think of a little bit of everything right now.
Yeah.
Mostly I'm just kind of John's protege kind of thing, making things work in the store, putting stuff together, putting things in the boxes and
Shipping them out.
sending out the boxes.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of little bit of production here and there and doing some stuff, helping out shoots.
Yeah, you've done audio 3 times now, 3 or
Something
4
like
times
that.
now?
Yeah. I don't know.
How's he? You're the only one who I think has handled that footage, Brandt.
Is it
do you
all
have
crap?
I think that would be the Pruno episode.
This is one of those
or the dark
off-camera
web.
things
Yeah,
that we
right.
can't talk about.
By the way.
Dark web. He was not a part of.
Was he not there? No, that's right. I remember because I was here.
Yeah.
But he did the Pruno.
Pruno. Yeah.
Right.
It's funny because half of the Pruno episode was done with Roberto.
Oh, right.
Doing the sound, and then the other half
Was
was with
Max.
Max.
Uh-oh.
And so the Max side was definitely quieter. Because
Okay.
I could tell you were being like a little bit more conservative about like, oh, I definitely don't want this to peek out or anything.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of a funny, interesting thing. Although compared to Roberto's usually pretty on point with that stuff, but we last week's scam school was had Max on it.
That's right. That's
And-
right.
Oh yeah.
And that was tough.
That's
We were
why I
battling a
couldn't
live
remember it.
band.
Yeah, it was a real tough thing.
Oh,
but
yeah, that was.
there were definitely some stuff was pushed a little too loud.
Yeah.
For a little while.
Yeah, and that's
but-
tough when you are kind of doing the audio stuff. Because you can adjust the gain on the fly if you don't know, is when you're dealing with really loud music. If you push it too loud, the voice that it's recording can't get too much louder because it'll just clip. But you'll be bringing up the background noise more and more. You're basically raising the noise floor essentially.
Yeah.
And so if you push it a little too far, you'll get a little more bleed. Which is definitely something I noticed in this coming week's episode because it's the same shoot.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, I listened to your episode, your final cut, and it still sounded good.
yeah.
We go through a lot of steps to clean that stuff up.
Yeah,
a lot.
and that episode, it was definitely usable. But that was definitely an episode where I felt like, oh, I gotta push our background music up a little bit louder than I normally would, just to kind of cover up this background music that is getting cut around.
Gotcha.
So
Okay, so you are kind of John's protege for now. What are some of your long-term interests, if you've got any? Or is it too heavy? Should we talk about the weather?
Like, fixing the crap car that I drive. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
not really in particular. I'm just gonna ride this out and see where it goes and meet a lot of interesting people.
Yeah.
The intergalactic webs and this thing and you techie people. And I don't know. It's fun. I don't know where I'm going, but it'll be a fun time getting there.
fair enough.
That's exactly our motto. You actually said the Bizarre Magic motto.
Hey, all right.
Which is crazy.
No one's ever felt that before, so
Well,
it's
I passed.
good.
Okay.
Well, we're glad to have you. The times when
What's your impression so far? Like, how are things feeling?
Oh,
your first month?
I like it. It's great. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. Like, I get up early sometimes, and sometimes I don't get up until 5 and just come and do the shoot. It's like, yeah, it's just bar food and beer for breakfast. I'll hold the camera. So, I love it. It's great. It's weird. It's crazy. One day we're picking locks and making thermite. The next day we're hacking things. So, yeah, it's awesome.
it definitely because I came from an office job, and it's a total 180 in terms of
It's
decorum.
it's not an
and-
It's a weird situation.
It's a weird transition. So just saying, next thing might be another transition back to normalcy.
Oh,
I definitely ordered pizza from my bed when I woke up the other day. Because,
nice. All right.
I felt okay about it because it was 1:30 in the afternoon.
Dude, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, well, welcome. And this is probably a good transition into talking to John. Hi, John.
Hi.
But more specifically, reiterating, because I think we talked about it a few months back, but you are Gonskis.
Yeah, so I'll be for real gone skis. So before last month it was kind of uncertain, kind of longer term what'll happen.
Yeah.
And then Brian and I just have been talking more and decided it would be best to be for reals gone.
Get out of here.
But, yeah,
We don't love you.
first of all, I'm sorry to everyone watching. If I make disgusting noises, I'm kind of sick this week. It always happens after Black Friday. I don't know if it's if that's a mental thing or what.
It actually used to be
But-
called Black Plague Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday. So I apologize if I make bad noises or I'm not understandable. But
You are like transitioning out of here.
Yeah.
What?
sorry.
Professionals. We're all professionals here.
That's great.
So you're asking.
So what's happening?
Yeah,
Like,
so-
when are you leaving? Are you going to be still doing stuff? What's
Yeah,
up?
so I'll be working remotely a little bit for it looks definitely the whole next month of December here, and then we're moving this weekend.
Whoa, really?
So, yeah, so we'll be physically gone.
Oh my gosh.
Oh crap!
I know we should do something. We should all do something.
Yeah.
together. But so
The look, yeah, like I imagine the look of surprise on Brandt's face is on what's on my face.
This is the exact like bizarre magic instance that happens every month where we go,
I did say
you're leaving? Oh, okay.
We
we
might
just
have
hired
to-
somebody.
We
John's leaving.
we might have to rewind the tape though to last month because I believe I did say the plan was always that I was moving this week, but it does sneak up fast. It's faster than I
Sure.
thought it would happen. But yeah, the new part is that long term I won't be staying, but short term I'll be working remotely through December, and I think we're gonna see how stuff is going, how Max is catching on with stuff because obviously there's just a lot of things that just
training.
take time to have that
there's
sink in.
A lot of
And-
weird things.
Yeah, and so having and we started that a little bit this week where I'm trying to have him just do it more on his own and then, watch like as the car might wreck and then be like, okay, this is how we'll do it instead.
into this lane.
So,
okay.
So yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
How's Max doing? Is he good?
Oh,
He's doing good.
he's doing great.
Good.
It's
Okay.
the
I haven't wrecked anything yet.
it's funky because like I was starting to say, there's so much that's just ingrained into how I think about how to do the job. So I'm finding there's a lot of things that to me is kind of almost second nature, whereas I have to I'm needing to get better at showing Max how to make that part of his second nature where it's like, okay, this is how you do that, this, that, and the other thing. So between that and I'm going to be working through like a big doc of like, here's all the list of products and here's how we handle stuff related to them and stuff like that. So, but yeah, he's doing well, especially although I don't have any gauge. I've never taught anyone how to do everything before, so I don't have any gauge.
You're not even calibrated.
Yeah,
enough.
I don't know if he's faster or slower than the national average at this. But
I'm not going to tell you either.
but it's definitely going well there.
Good.
Well, I mean,
So-
I figured it out in like a day, right? That time you left.
Yeah, so this is part of why it's harder now because there is before when
To catch people up, John left at one point.
multiple times
Brandt took
in the
over
past.
Scam Stuff for a minute
And then taught Zach how to do it.
and taught Zach how to do it, and then in the
Yeah.
end, John came back to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, if you watch this,
Went well then.
If you watch this show still in like 2018 or something, I'm like back here, like don't be like surprised. I think I was lying now.
I like a little part of me kind of thinks for some reason you'll be back in like
some
in like
form,
10 months. November,
some-
yeah.
some
You'll be back for Black
form, like-
Friday.
like
Right.
like as like Gandalf the White or whatever. Like I'm just like some different version.
Sure.
I have new experiences now. No, but yeah, like when it's different because we didn't have a fulfillment center. There's lots of different things. We have a lot more orders than we ever did before. We have a lot more emails coming in.
But there's more systems in place.
Yeah, there's more things that I'm like, oh, I've seen this problem happen 100 times before. This is the best way to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it is like making sure Max understands that. Whereas before it was like, I've never had that problem before, so I don't know how to tell someone to handle it. It's just like, we'll get used to it. Whereas now it's like, okay, yeah, there's best practices just from experience.
Yeah. And to be fair, like Max, you might be getting the most training anybody on this job has ever gotten in the history of this.
He already has.
I
He already has.
thought you
I
saw
can
make it up.
guarantee.
So,
he
Like
has.
great.
the video stuff, kind of not really. The stage show, I got like Brandt made a flyer at one point, which is great.
Which you're lucky you got that.
That's a really great flyer because you didn't have that.
No, when I got to it, like John was like, you just do these things and you'll be on stage and you'll figure it out. Basically,
Okay. Sorry, not to throw more people under the bus, but
Chad,
Bring it back to Chad.
I learned zero. Chad didn't have me. I didn't even meet Chad until I was like working the job for like 3 months.
Yeah.
So there's.
Chad is calling us on Skype right now.
Chad's like,
Let me tell you about
yeah,
CJ.
when Dan was, yeah, I didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
He actually made me forget everything. He made me forget the English language. I was, yeah. Anyway,
this all feels good. Like hearing you talk about it, and still not knowing a whole lot about the story myself. I feel confident in your confidence. Does that?
I have more confidence than I expected to have, but not as much as in a perfect world would give. But I think that's to be expected. You know, I think it's in line with what expectations should be, not necessarily perfect world crazy scenarios that would never exist.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
While we're still on the store, let's talk about the elephant on the calendar. It is Cyber Monday. We just had Black Friday and all the sales stuff. Brian's talked a little bit about it on After Things. If you listen to the After Things podcast,
Never heard of
patreon.com/weirdthings.
What is it?
It's the after show to Weird Things.
Oh.
And they talk about creative stuff. And this week, Brian and Justin, who both run stores, talked about some of their hesitancies and their their worries about running a store. Justin talked a lot about his debt. Go check that out. Patreon.com/weirdthings. So Brian talked a little bit about the store. I don't know if you guys have any insights or feelings or any tales to tell about Black Friday this year.
Yeah, we did a pretty similar strategy to last year because last year worked so phenomenally well. It's doing really well. One of the big things, and at least from my experience, a lot of other people are doing this with Black Friday too, where it's not this one day kind of flash sale mentality. Mm-hmm. It lasts that whole weekend, and that's good for everyone because first, the customers aren't, they're not like, oh, I didn't miss a deal, so now I'm not going to get it because I know I wasted $50 by not ordering it an hour ago, or a day ago, or whatever. So it gives them more time. It gives them more time to think about what they want. It gives them more time to buy something on Wednesday and then buy a second thing on Monday. So it's good for them. It's good for us because we are not, switching over the store Thanksgiving night when we're supposed to be when
you're with family.
A lot of people would like to be with family. Yeah. So we're able to be with family and switch over the store on Wednesday instead, which is really nice. And they keep that going through the whole weekend. So it's more sales for us, more less stress for us, and I think it's more cool stuff for the customers and less stress for the customers too, doing it that way. And I know we're not the only store that does that.
Sure.
Now I think even Amazon is all about the lightning deals, which they still do, but
which
they have
crazy. Dude, at 2 a.m. you can get $5 off of this baby bottle.
Yeah, they're super random, right? It's
random.
Oh yeah, all the moms, up at 2 a.m. But they actually probably are because they have babies. But
the hidden elegance behind Amazon.com.
Yeah. But yeah, they still do some. But you'll notice they also have ones that last through the whole week, and a lot of these, it won't be the only time to get that new video game is at 4 p.m. or whatever. They might have a even better deal then, but overall through that whole weekend they keep the deal going, which is what we do as well.
Very cool. One thing we put out a Black Friday video because we have a Friday video series, our giveaways, and it was a pretty standard video, right, where we mentioned deals on good products that are under $20, but at some point we had a really complicated, I'm really glad with what we chose for that whole Black Friday campaign because we had another sort of more complicated plan for dealing with Black Friday.
Yeah, we did. That's right. I almost blocked that. I practically blocked that out of my mind because it was such a disaster.
So originally the idea was that we would put out a bunch of videos during the week of Thanksgiving before Black Friday of they would be specific deals that would be better than the deals you would get on Black Friday. and they would only be for that one day. And then we would hide coupon codes or some sort of promo code within that stuff.
Which we did actually do a little bit of that last year, where we had a different deal every day, and just people didn't take advantage of it, and it kind of goes against that whole. Sorry again. It goes against that whole like, okay, it's just up and ready to go. You don't have someone being like, oh, I kind of want that deal, but what if I buy something tomorrow that's on sale?
Yeah.
So it just eliminates that. It makes everything simple, and it makes people not have buyer's remorse, because that's what we get a lot. When we change the deals around, you get people who are like, oh, and. We'll usually honor both deals is what happens, but you get a lot of people who don't think to email, and they just have that feeling, and they never, we just left them with that. So that's kind of some of the thinking behind it, and just keeping everything more simple. Because if you make it so complicated, they don't know what's going on. Whereas if you just say, okay, everything's on sale, find what you want,
uncertainty. Right.
They have the freedom to find exactly what they want, and it works out well.
Well, the idea that we had was that we would do, because we were going to shoot our Black Friday video and the Friday before video at the same time, so that normally we shoot those on Thursdays, so we could get it all out of the way and everybody could go enjoy Thanksgiving, and we wouldn't have to figure that out at that point. The idea was that we would do this like 3-part video with Brian and alternate timeline Brian, where it's like, we got a special guest on this giveaway video.
This is the first time you're hearing about this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard that there was some sort of plan, but I had no idea what it was.
So the idea was that
wasn't great.
there would be a special guest on the giveaway video, and it would be parallel universe or some like alternate universe Brian, where he didn't open a shop and just kept touring. And so he would go back to this. He even had like an idea of like we would film him getting shaved to do the spikes again, because his haircut's not right for it. But he would be in the spikes, and it would be this like this Clumps style, talking to himself bit. But it would be this like conversation, and it would be over 3 different videos on these 3 days before Black Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like the idea still has the potential to be awesome, but it was too much when the message needed to be simple.
For like 2 days to shoot.
It was a result of the Black Friday idea also being a little complicated, or that whole idea of doing deals before Black Friday.
Yeah, so then we had decided, oh, wait, these deals didn't work last year. Why are we scheduling our entire video around it?
Yeah.
So then instead we did that Thanksgiving thing.
We did the how to talk to your family at Thanksgiving, which ended up being really great. We all went apart and went and looked and thought of great ideas of how to deal with family, because the holidays are so confrontational. And I'm actually really happy with what that video was. Like I enjoy when the Friday videos are not what's up? What's good?
I'm just like, my perspective of you right now is very Wilson from Home Improvement, where it's just like right here.
It's a cutoff.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Speaking of Canada,
I really like when the Friday videos when we can have them be very content based. We went to the Wizard Academy thing, the business class thing, a while ago, and they were talking about the balance between selling people stuff and giving people content. And those Friday videos and what used to be Behind the Scam are so tough because they're they orbit the store, and they are very focused on sales and new products and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so to have an episode like that, which was like 100% like, this is information. We are fulfilling the social engineering side of a tagline that we otherwise never touch. I really enjoyed it, and I like with what the ideas that everybody came up with. And I hope it helped people, because holidays can be so cantankerous.
I will argue for the traditional way we have been doing things, and that it is still really good content, especially if you start to compare it with what other companies will do. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you take a look at, what most companies will send if they have, like, a deal or they have a new product or something, it's just a very, like, straightforward, the video might just be, showing off the product or, what have you. The email might be, here's the price of the product and what it does. I think we do a really good job at having kind of a fun. I think Brian injects a lot of personality into those giveaway videos. So even if the only thing we did was sell them on the new product, it's usually still done in a way that is more conversational and more like of a like. Even if at the end of the day, like I think anyone could watch any of those product videos and not care. Like you could, if you had no interest in buying the like plasma lighter video, I think you could watch that plasma lighter video and have a really good time watching it. Right.
Okay.
Like even if you didn't want to buy it, I still agree that like having like you can
like,
still go too far with that,
Right.
But
I agree with you. Like I think that when we do it really well.
Yeah.
But in this specific case, I liked that on a fundamental level.
yeah, it was nice to
devoid
get
of
away from it.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Because it changes up. Like the style of it is kind of similar, but I don't know. Maybe this is a more personal thing, but I feel better about it. Like
Yeah.
not that
Right.
I don't know. Not saying selling is icky or whatever, but I enjoyed that it can be us giving people something.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just an actual helpful thing,
Yeah.
and that's
Right.
all
Sure.
it is.
It's
Like that's why I've enjoyed the having the puzzle stuff on those videos. I think we've talked about this before, but like the puzzle element
Yeah.
of it is almost entirely content basically for those videos.
Yeah.
And even if they're like not very organically involved sometimes, they are something that you can look forward to, and the end result isn't just, you can win a thing. There's like a satisfaction element to it. And I appreciate that. I also really love The Witness, and I think it's Game of the Year 2016.
all right.
Gotta get that in.
Well,
It is one of the
my
better
satisfaction
games,
out of that game is solving puzzles where there are no rewards, and I think there's a parallel of ideas there
There's
Sure.
rewards to that.
Yeah.
Seeing the next puzzle, I think that's a reward.
in The Witness, but at
Yeah.
the end of the game, the rewards there are.
What about
there's-
personal satisfaction, Bryce?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah.
trophy
Then yeah.
it gives you, the
Sure, the
PlayStation
two
trophy.
achievements,
Yeah.
right?
achievements.
Okay, so that's Black Friday stuff. Let's talk about Modern Rogue.
All right. We can do that.
Modern Rogue is a web series that we do.
Yeah. Okay. So Jason Murphy and Brian Brushwood, the co-stars of Lucidity.
Right, the old early
everybody-
2000s fan or amateur video.
Short film. Everybody knows about that. Yeah. So Modern Rogue is doing pretty well the past couple weeks.
Earlier today, apparently, I got signed up to the 2-Hour Statisticians newsletter on how well the new video is doing.
Oh, you mean so Brian?
Yes,
Yeah.
I love Brian, and I'm glad Brian can be like performance focused, but sometimes that means, hey everybody, here's what the number is right now.
Well, yesterday when we were doing remix, between every single take, Brian was like, Brandt, we just got 50 new subscribers. 50 people watched our videos and
clicked the
thought,
button.
And they liked it.
I want more of these, so I subscribed. Which is like, yeah, I can be excited for stuff too, but
Like once a day, like when it's a big jump. Whoa, we're over 150,000 on this views.
and also it's a little weird for me because
You follow the numbers too a little bit.
So
Right.
I knew that we
You
were
already
getting
know.
a bigger spike before Brian did, and, then, and so Brian was really excited to share with everybody. And I was like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, what's up? Low poke.
But yeah, so it's been really cool seeing Modern Rogue kind of reliably performing better than Scam School these days.
That's right. Like the new one, we're talking about the new Pruno episode. That's almost at 150. That it's over 150, like on the back end, because those numbers are a little different.
Probably,
I think.
yeah.
But it's at 148,000 right now, which is like really good because I feel like a good Scam School can do like 60
To 80?
to 80. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are some that just like
And that's usually like over the course of a week, and this is
right. This
what,
has only been
3
up a couple
days,
days.
4 days.
But also, I think
great.
I think there's I think there's a real solid holiday bump. I think a lot of big channels took the week off, or like if they did release something, it was earlier in the week, and if they were releasing something later in the week, they just didn't put anything out. Whereas we don't really ever take breaks on like Scam School, and
For better or worse.
for better or for worse, right?
Yeah.
But that meant that we were there, and that we were something that you
Right.
too could offer to people, because that was one of the things that we saw, is that a lot of the views are coming from like recommendations and browse, being served up from YouTube to the viewers.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, Mikey Newman over at Chainsaw Suit, his Movies with Mikey episode that came out this week also got like a pretty sizable bump.
That's right. His Serenity video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and even before this episode, like 3 weeks ago, we had the knife throwing episode, and that's almost at 100,000 right now.
That's right. The Deep Web is almost at 80,000, and that was
Yeah.
the week after that.
Yeah, that was last week.
And so like, hey, this is doing really well.
Also, it was really weird for the Pruno one, because that was scheduled to be released in February. It was
Oh, yeah?
it was literally scheduled to be the last episode of the 12 that we have shot.
Yeah.
But then on Scam School, when we were doing stand-ups, Brian
he
Brian wa-
referenced it.
Brian wanted to toss to that, and then I was like, well, okay. And then I was like, well, I should probably make that
Move
this
that
week's
up.
episode, so that way
Yeah.
we can link to it. But it ended up working out fine. Also, we have new music on that episode.
I did feel like that was a different. So what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so Brian got an email from, I guess, one of the guys who runs this label or whatever, this little label.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, I saw this Scam School video and I thought it was really cool. We've got some music. If you want to use it, then by all means." So it's like a Creative Commons non-commercial use, except for on YouTube and Twitch. And so it's just like some albums you buy and then you can use it. Some albums they just release for free.
Yeah.
And so it's just like this chilled, down-tempo hip-hop kind of stuff.
Yeah. Which is totally like our aesthetic musically. Generally.
Yeah. We also got an email like a month and a half ago of somebody kind of similarly like, "Hey man, like you want to use my music for your stuff?" And it was like super like.
If this is the one I'm thinking about, are you thinking about the form letter that like clearly this person sent to like 1,000 people because it doesn't have anything about Brian or the shows on it?
Maybe.
Okay.
I just remember I listened to some of the music, and like the music was fine, but it was super not in brand, and
Yeah.
clearly demonstrated that they didn't really understand how we use background music. So
The email that I'm thinking about, someone was like, "Hey, we made this song, and if you want to use this song, you can. We have other music, and if you let us know, we will like whitelist you," which means he was kind of making it sound like it wouldn't be content ID stuff, right? But like when you're talking about whitelisting is like definitely a content ID system.
right.
So I don't know. It was this dude being like, "Hey, if you want to use my music, you can," but like, it was very clear it was a form letter because it didn't even have Brian's name in it. And
we got a lot of those with the store too.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, like
high quality PVC from China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. That's
That's one I get.
Pretty accurate.
I get that a lot for some reason. And B, this dude was like trying to steal some of our YouTube money. Like, because for, if you have a small YouTube channel and you're not trying to make money off of it, it doesn't matter if you get a content ID claim that is like monetization, because you're not trying to make money off of it very much anyway.
Refresh the channel.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Do we have more subscribers?
I'm on the Modern Rogue.
I'm seeing 60,000 even.
Ooh.
The public number we've got is 59,841, but I definitely believe that like the back end numbers are
Yeah.
ahead of that. Well, that's awesome.
That's cool.
And that's in like a week.
Yeah,
Like-
we crossed over 50,000 like
Last-
less than 2 weeks ago.
I think it was a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was the previous Sunday because I remember Brian talking about it on After Things.
Yeah.
You're on the right road for that silver play button.
Silver play button,
Or
that's
the
right.
platinum or whatever.
The silver.
Yeah.
Right.
They should make a platinum for 1 billion subscribers.
Or like 5 million or something.
Or like a
Yeah.
billion.
10,
Right.
10 million.
Like a billion though.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, that would go with the from the 100,000 to the million.
True.
Billion.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, that's Modern Rogue.
It's cool, but I'm not looking forward to like the way that the comments are shifting,
Yeah.
because obviously you're drawing from a much deeper pool of people.
And from like a lot of niche audiences who, whether or not they do come from a place of knowing more about a specific topic about like I'm thinking about the Pruno episode, and we've had plenty of people in the comments who are like, you know, just drink it, like
Right,
it's fine.
yeah.
Like literally people do it. Or like when we had the salt gun, the pepper spray gun.
A lot of gun people.
A lot
Yeah,
of
that was-
gun owners and gun advocates and stuff, where it was a pretty politically neutral episode.
And I mean, kind of every episode sort of has that. Like the deep web has a lot of like IT professionals, and the knife throwing has a decent voice in the knife throwing community.
Sure.
And stuff like that. But yeah, there's like I feel like we've had a pretty good run of having like a decent. I wouldn't go so far as to say close knit community, but like a very civil community for the most part.
Yeah. And you're worried how that would turn if the numbers
I
keep going up.
I look at the scam school comments.
Sure. Yeah.
I know where that leads.
Yeah.
Is there a way to see the crossover between the Scamp School channel and the
I don't
Not-
Modern
know.
Rogue channel? I'd be curious to
I don't
know.
think that the tool exists for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I bet there are indicators that we could look at, whether it's like demographics and stuff, but I don't think
Yeah.
specifically
There's not like
we
a
can,
program where you save the two channels and they're like this many.
at least not a YouTube tool that I
Yeah.
can think of.
Yeah, not natively built in. But
Interesting, though.
Maybe some kind of third party situation.
As long as we're talking about Modern Rogue statistics, I'm only asking this because Brian definitely said it on a show sometime in the past 2 weeks. But we previously talked about Modern Rogue was making like $30 a day. What,
or take.
has that shifted,
Nice.
or is that about the same compared to where it was? And that would have
I
been,
mean,
I think,
I can-
2 months ago. I think when we talked about it.
I can check real quick.
Especially because YouTube bases a lot of that stuff on not just views and not just ad impressions, but also view time. And so us having this most recent episode, the Pruno episode, which is a little bit of a longer episode, and getting more views and getting good view time, I wonder how you would think it would make that number go up, but YouTube's system is always screwy.
Yeah, so right now our average is about $42 per day.
Hell yeah!
That or
All right.
A little under. And of course it kind of
Fluctuates.
tracks with the views. So every Friday there's a spike, and then there's like a 2-day fall off, and then it kind of hits
Peters out.
the floor. Which is a bit under average, but then obviously the spikes go over average.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's a
Yeah, that's
30 something % increase.
Yeah.
Hey, make that money.
Look at that.
So that is the Modern Rogue. Okay, really briefly, I want to address this because this is probably the only place we can address it, and I don't want to talk about it too much.
Sure.
Nah.
A few weeks ago, we did a collaboration video with List 25. They are a very popular YouTube channel that does lists of things. And so I guess at some point, Brian was approached to do a collaboration video with them, showing off not necessarily magic tricks, but kind of cool. I guess they're cool. They are tricks, but not all of them are necessarily magic. And in the end result is in the final video, the audio is not super great, and there isn't any footage from us. It's just Brian talking to the camera and using the camera audio. And I think there were just miscommunications about what the expectations were on both sides. That is my best understanding. But we definitely did not intend to, like, I don't know, half-ass it.
Right.
Like we gave it the time and focus that we do other sorts of videos. I mean, that same day we shot a Friday video, and then that came out the next day at our usual execution level. So I think there were just miscommunication things with that. But anybody who watches us and knows us knows that, like, that ain't us.
Sure.
So that's that. That's just a brief corrections. No, you can't really correct something that you didn't say.
Comment.
It's a PSA.
Addendum?
Situation.
An addendum. A memorandum on list 25.
Okay.
My memoirs.
We had the Canada thing.
We do have a Canada thing. So another one of our Friday videos was about a promotion that we put on that for the week, for that whole week, if you were buying something to Canada over a certain price point, you'd get free shipping, which is a big deal because our international pricing can be a little pricey, especially at a certain price point. I imagine it just goes up because you're buying more things or presumably getting bigger things. So it can be like $30 or $40 off basically because that's just shipping that you're saving. First off, like, did that do well? Like, did we get a lot of Canadian orders?
Yeah, it did really well, actually. And it did well in a way that, basically when we run promotions like this, you're kind of running promotions for different people who are sensitive to different things. So some people just are really resistant to, shipping prices, especially internationally. And so other people are, more sensitive to if it's, like a collection of stuff and they want all the subtotal price down. So like the Black Friday stuff is like, that's really solid for, okay, I would just want some of everything and, I'll ship it and I'll pay for shipping, but overall I'm getting like a really good deal. But for that shipping one, we had a lot of people who were like, they're just like standing on their mountain like, I refuse to pay shipping never in my life, which is fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it was a good opportunity for them because we could take the discount we specifically put on shipping. But for us, we were charging, either full or close to full prices for things. So then we were able to take the loss on shipping to be able to,
Offset that.
Yeah, to offset that. So if you bought something that week or you bought something during Black Friday, you might have had, one might have been better than the other depending on what your order was. But, they're both kind of similar ways to discount things for people.
Yeah, that is a good way of looking at it. We definitely got a lot of people in the comments who were like, $100. I think it was $100 was the price point that you had to be over.
Yeah.
Like, $100 to get free shipping. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's hard to like respond to that person and say, well, we just saved you like $40 on shipping because or however much the shipping would be because it's still a little pricey.
It's tough. And we did a promotion about that was shipping in general because, a lot of people who also run online stores find that is a really big factor for them.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people running other online stores, you have people looking for the best prices. You have people looking, we have a lot of people who are really brand loyal. And so that's good for us because, we can price things out in a way that, works for them. But also when it comes to shipping, we can basically charge what it's costing us to ship so we don't take that big loss. Whereas other people, they might, just not be interested in the product anymore. But I think we have a lot of people who want to support us and, obviously there'll be people who don't like to pay shipping and that's why we do the promotions every now and then like that. But I don't know where I'm going with it, but
I think our fans and customers understand that we have like kind of niche products.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not like we're selling like, I don't know, video games or something that is like standard
we can get it anywhere.
And anywhere. Right.
Yeah.
Like a lot of this stuff is curated or original and, a little more bespoke than something like that. Well, cool. So yeah, and then I don't know. I thought it was we made great pains to make that video not political because that was the week of the election, and we definitely got a lot of heated comments of like, if you don't like America, you can get out. You know, like, if you're moving to Canada, you're part of the problem. Like, you know, filling in a lot of steps that we made sure to not even approach, you know, filling in a lot of gaps.
Well, I think that's why, because we put the tension there without
addressing it.
There was no way you could prove that we were like doing that, but that made it funnier to me. I don't know. Yeah, but I like the way we handle it because we weren't taking any kind of political side or anything, but we just kind of, it was a thing that so many people in general were talking about, you know, and of course you have all the people who say they're going to move and then they don't. And it's just funny.
Yeah.
It's just a funny thing that happens every election cycle.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a fun way to address that kind of weird thing everyone does.
And I think in the video, like, our reasoning for it in the video was really good. Is that, like, hey, international people, we know you exist, and we want to try and do more things for you, which, like, is a good thing, and, like, it's not, like, a lie. Like, you know, we want to do more stuff for international people as much as we can.
And that promotion was really successful. I think the only other country that I think we can do it for from a price standpoint is the UK. And then like Australia, we unfortunately wouldn't be able to do it. Or some other popular ones.
Could you like Mexico?
Well, Mexico is kind of tricky. They actually took away their rates that were they used to be equal to Canada's rates, and now they're higher. And there's just a lot of fraudulent orders from Mexico, and not a lot of orders in general from Mexico. So you have a high percentage of fraudulent orders, and you have a low percentage of
legitimate
actual
orders,
customers.
right.
So so it's a tricky thing. We would have to look at it, but I know that the UK has enough, you know, customers through it, and the shipping cost is in a certain place where it would make sense to do, especially for heavier items. Is where that kind of comes in.
That would be cool. We can have Brian do a whole episode in an accent.
Yeah.
Have him do it in an English accent.
Oh boy.
But he only gets one take on each line. So he's got to like keep the accent going, or maybe it drifts. Maybe it starts to turn Australian or Russian or something else that's not an English accent.
But if you're from the UK watching this, don't wait for that promotion because it probably won't happen for a little while here. Just I don't want anyone waiting for it when we don't have an official decision to do it yet.
Sure. Let's see. Anything else? I'm trying to think if there's anything new in the podcast.
We had some broken lenses.
Yeah. So what was up with the? So we have a Rokinon 85mm telephoto prime lens.
Yeah.
And the exposure ring was loose. Is that what it was?
The aperture.
The aperture.
Yeah, and so I think technically, like just some of the elements internally were sticking. So it would open up but wouldn't close down, right? So if you're outside in a bright environment, you couldn't close down the aperture to make the image darker. And it's a pretty nice lens, but apparently Rokinon doesn't do a great job of like offering parts, like spare parts to fix it with or whatever. But I took it out to the shop and got it worked on. We just got that back today.
Nice.
Good. And also my 50mm, my personal lens, which we've basically never used because it's been broken for like 2 years. And that was a focus ring issue. And then they fixed that as well.
Very cool.
Nice.
I heard, by the way, you're itching to get a new camera.
Ooh.
I am.
Oh, wait, that sounds more like a question mark than the other day.
It's
expensive.
It's really hard to say yes. I'm going to spend this many thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Do
you mind telling people what you're looking at?
Yeah. So I'm thinking about getting the Sony A7S II, which is about a $3,000 camera. And then there's also like hidden costs of you got to get batteries, you got to get cards, you got to get all that kind of stuff. lens adapters, that whole shtick.
Yeah.
And so there's a deal on a lens that ends tonight, which I might get. And if I go with that, then that'll pretty much like pot commit me.
Yeah.
But
so like because you had a 70 Mark.
I have a Canon EOS 5D Mark II.
5D Mark II.
So I got that in 2009, maybe 2010. Yeah, that was like a sort of graduation gift where I paid for half and my dad paid for half. And yeah, like at the time that was like the craziest consumer camera on the market because it was one of the first few cameras that did video.
Yeah.
Or DSLRs that did video. It wasn't the first, but it was the first one that did it well. And it was like a real low light powerhouse, and it's still like a phenomenal camera, but it's starting to show its wear.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't built for doing video, and now I mostly just do video, whereas when I got the camera I was mostly doing photos with some video on the side. So it would behoove me to get a camera that can like kind of properly handle video.
Yeah.
And
So-
I do everything at night because I'm a fucking monster who sleeps through the day. So it would be nice to have a camera that can actually perform at night.
Yeah.
And boy, does it.
Yeah. How? I want to see if I can pull up. Do you know how high that ISO goes? It's like crazy, right?
Like 400,000.
400,000, 409,600 ISO.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Wow. And it has image stabilization inside.
It does.
Wow.
That's a little hit or miss.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got that. And it if you have a lens that talks to the camera, then it does the stabilization a little bit better.
Okay. Gyroscopes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Accelerometers.
And yeah, like ISO at that range isn't like super usable, but
But there are a lot of crazy numbers in between there.
like on the 5D, 3000 ISO isn't super usable.
Yeah.
So like basically an order of magnitude better. And yeah, I played around with it in the store a little bit while I was getting those lenses repaired, and it's pretty cool.
Cool. Well, best of luck with whatever your decision is.
Yeah, we'll know before next episode.
That's true. That's true. Is there anything else? I think we're kind of coming to a good time to get into plugs and or maybe personal stuff.
Maybe let's close it off with Thanksgiving. What did you guys do for Thanksgiving?
Who wants to go first? John. Were
Yeah, I
you
can go
here
first.
in town?
Sort of. I went down to San Antonio. Some of Kelsey's family lives down there, and saw a bunch of them. And we had lots of food, and yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
Fun. Max, what'd you do?
Apparently a family in Blanco, so that was interesting.
Okay.
So, yeah, long lost, twice removed of the second side somebody. So that was great. Yeah, just got to meet some people. And,
Weird.
Yeah, drinking whiskey on a porch in the backcountry, and it was great. So no objections. How about you?
Brant, did you go home?
No, I worked on the Pruno episode all Thanksgiving Day and ate leftover pizza that I ordered the night before because I knew I would be working on the Pruno episode all Thanksgiving.
Oh man, I didn't.
That's
I
not
wish
the
I knew
worst.
you were like in town. Like we did like a Friendsgiving Thanksgiving night over at Matt's place at Waffleophagus, who's in the chat.
Gotcha.
And I wouldn't like.
That's
reach
all
out.
good. Like I had.
I know you like kind of don't like gatherings super much.
Also, can we talk about how Thanksgiving is literally the lamest holiday?
hold on.
It is like
Really?
the worst
Really?
holiday.
That's
Hold
a
on,
lot of
we-
people's favorite holiday.
We have taught. I feel like on this show we have talked about how Thanksgiving is like a really great holiday, though. Like in terms of food, like because Thanksgiving's a lot of food that you're into because you kind of
Not
have.
really.
Wait,
The
what?
point is eating. Like what? How can that be bad?
That's the. I hate eating. It's like the worst.
No.
I feel like I have such a vivid memory of us having a conversation about turkey being super cool for you because it's got turkey, which is like a white light meat, and then mashed potatoes and vegetables and stuff.
Like, really, the only turkey I eat is Rudy's.
Okay.
Oh, that reminds me. After this, we need after this topic, we need to figure out when we do our Rudy's meetings because Brian okayed that idea.
Oh shit! Well, it's got to be within the it's got to be
It
while
has to
John's
be
in
in the
town.
next 72 hours. No,
What?
Before Thursday would be great.
Okay.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah. So like,
What?
what? I can eat turkey, but I really don't like it that much usually. Vegetables are okay. Like, gravy is the worst. Mashed potatoes can be all
Pecan
right.
pie, pumpkin pie, apple pie.
I'm not a big pie guy.
Yeah.
Then
Right,
eat cake.
I mean, cakes are good, but who eats cake on Thanksgiving?
Well, yeah.
I ate cake on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right.
I had cake, pie, and cookies.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Nice.
God. And also just like, yeah, I just don't like food or eating that much. So it's weird that there's a holiday that's like, hey, let's all just eat food and like watch TV or be around each other for a little bit. And it's like, I don't even know you people.
Have you?
Also,
Are
I'm
you
the
like
one
a-
who got sick, not you. So I blame it on Black Friday, but I mean, I did have a lot of sugar,
Like,
which may have weakened me.
I almost like. I almost afraid to ask this because I don't know what the answer is going to be.
All right.
Have you never seen like a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving?
No, I have.
Like the the
doesn't.
meaning of Thanksgiving though is like good, like giving thanks and like being,
Yeah, like, hey, let's remember when we slaughtered all these Native Americans.
Oh,
like,
geez.
that's real fun. Thanksgiving is such a good holiday, guys.
You're going really Bobby Hill on me right now. And I need you to chill it.
What is your favorite holiday, Brant?
It's
Maybe we could turn this around.
it's either Halloween or Christmas.
Okay.
But it's probably Halloween because I like the weather more and it's just more fun.
But Christmas is Thanksgiving with gifts. Christmas.
Yeah, so he so he doesn't like Thanksgiving. Why would he
Right.
like it with
Right.
also this other thing?
Right. Like that would
I mean,
at best
doesn't
make
make
it
any
like
sense.
Christmas is wintry and like
In Texas is no winter. It's not winter. It's not a thing.
it's more wintry and it's like none of my family's ever eaten like Thanksgiving food on Christmas.
Yeah, it's more like
like-
ham.
Right.
Admittedly, I don't like a ton of Christmas food either, but
Well, that's why I was
This is
trying to say
suspect.
that's why you like Halloween more than Christmas.
There's no
Because
Halloween.
Christmas
food.
is like for you a better version of Thanksgiving, but there's still stuff
But-
you don't like about.
Sure,
it.
But
sure.
Halloween, okay, here's the thing. I know you, Brant. I know you. You don't like
All right.
big gatherings. You don't like being out
Sure.
with a lot of people. That's the definition of Halloween.
I just imagine you doing like the
Patty
like,
cake.
yeah, like the elementary, when all the girls did. I don't know if it was like that in your area, but they did like the hand game.
Sure.
I just imagine you doing
Don't
that with-
deflect
with
from this
Brant.
this line
Sorry.
of questioning.
I'm just trying to bring some unity.
I live in an apartment, Bryce, and nobody like comes to my door. And even if they do, it's usually like a one-on-one interaction, and it's not like, oh, here I'm surrounded by 30 people, and I have to make small talk with these people who I don't like that much.
Sure.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, you're like dressed up as a thing. That's fun. Like you're Bill Duran. Look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Halloween's awesome.
Okay. All right.
And plus, Halloween has the best movies. Name a good Thanksgiving movie. Wrong.
Trains, planes, and automobiles.
I actually really don't like that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You did
Wait, is that a
mention Charlie
Thanksgiving?
Brown Thanksgiving.
Charlie
Yeah,
Brown? Yeah.
that
That's a shorter movie.
And it's shorter. It's more like a TV episode or a TV film. In any case.
And like Christmas has some okay movies.
Sure. Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
Die Hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Halloween takes the cake when it comes to movies, at least.
I guess so. I guess so. All right.
Right?
Sure.
Right? Thanksgiving to me might as well be President's Day. Like,
Wait, you don't celebrate President's Day?
You don't have a feast with your family?
All right. Well, holiday talk.
But what did you do?
We had Friendsgiving. We went to Matt's house, and a bunch of the Austin friends and fans got together, and I made mashed potatoes. I made homemade mashed potatoes, and they were fucking awesome. And I spent probably more time than I will spend in the next 12 months thinking and watching Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
That's a shame.
Isn't there? There's like a podcast. I think it's the McElroys who do a yearly
Till Death Do Us Blart.
Yeah.
Which is a Thanksgiving podcast where they watch and then review Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 forever.
every year.
And if one of them dies, they get replaced with somebody else. And it just keeps going.
And how long has this been?
This is the second year.
Oh, okay, good.
Thankfully.
For 80 years.
How long do you think they'll actually make it through?
Forever.
You think so?
I think
you
they
have
will.
That confidence?
Well, two of the guys on that podcast do the Worst Idea of All Time podcast, which is every week for a year they review the same movie. So for the first year they were watching Grown Ups 2 every week.
And they've done that?
And then this year they're doing Sex and the City 2 every week.
I guess so. They changed the movie. At least they changed the movie every year.
So
That helps.
there's like it'll be around. It'll be an institution. If the same people are still listening in 2018, they will know that there were probably more Paul Blart or Death Do Us Blart episodes. That's another podcast. This is the Bizarre Briefing, though. You can find more about this show at bizarrebriefing.com. Oh, plugs. Let's do plugs really quickly.
All right.
John, I'm going to give you the first plug. I always give you the first plug, though. But this is your last
Well, I
first
never
plug.
have any plugs.
You
And
don't
I
ever
usually
have a
plug the
plug.
store, and then if I'm not working on the store anymore, you should still use the store, though.
Sure. Even in death.
But
I'd like to imagine that you'll tweet more when you're
I don't know.
moved.
I don't know if I will.
How will we keep in touch? How will we talk?
I might start tweeting. I might start Instagramming.
Yeah.
I'll probably start to. I was joking with my wife about this because the last time I Instagrammed was when I was in Florida before, so it would be really funny because like Instagram I used to use as this like, oh yeah, what was I doing in my whole life?
Yeah.
And it would just be really funny because it would just look like 3 years of my life like just didn't exist. I don't know. It's kind of funny.
That's great.
I might do that just for the sake of doing that.
Yeah, please do it. I would like you to do it
John
ironically.
Tilton, JONTILTON on both Instagram and Twitter. If I do use it,
I'd like you to do it ironically, if only because I think it will lead you to doing it
to do it more
earnestly.
Well, that's the other thing too, because obviously both Kelsey and I have a lot of friends in the area.
Obviously.
People asking to stay in touch, and I really just haven't been good about updating those things. So there's some more reason to do it. So
Well,
I don't know.
You will be missed, but not forgotten.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be back on in some form in the future.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be something that will happen. But anyway,
Well,
I
that's
apologize for being sick, but let's move down a little.
Max. What's if you had to plug something? Because I know you don't tweet very much either, right?
No, not really. I
Right.
used to a whole lot, and then I moved to Texas. So I guess I'll be
We have very
kind of
strict no tweeting laws.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what I've been
Sure.
following. I don't know what you guys.
Don't Twitter and drive. Apparently, is a thing here.
Hashtag
no,
X.
There you go.
No, that's an AT&T ad campaign. Look it up.
TV. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I'll be revamping the whole social media thing.
Yeah.
Eventually, trying to
Okay.
get more into the doing all this in the Diamond Club and.
So watch this space. Watch
Yeah.
this space.
Next month we'll have breaking news about Max's social M.
Social
presence.
M. Yeah.
I hope not. Ooh.
Brandt.
You can find me on Twitter at Gadowag, GATOWAG. Same username pretty much everywhere. I've been twitching a little bit, so
You've been playing the Hitman.
Twitch.tv/Gadowag.
So good.
Yeah, I've been doing some Hitman. Doing a little
I
bit of
haven't
edits,
I haven't watched
stuff
your
like that.
archives, but it looks like you're like. Did you beat it yet, or like did you beat the critical path already, or are you close to the?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so I beat the 6 missions, and I'm kind of going through and doing like escalation missions, and stuff like that.
You still playing Rocket League? A little bit?
Not as much these days. I'm still following up with like news about it and patches and big updates and stuff like that. But yeah, I just haven't played a whole lot the past couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that'll probably turn around once you finish it, man.
probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
You can find me on Twitter at BroadcastBRYCAS. You can find me on Twitch at BroadcastBRYCAS. I'm trying to stream. I say this every month. I'm trying to stream more, and I feel like I am. I feel like I'm working up on streaming
Sure.
more. I was because I was streaming real hard for a while, but I was like just the other night I was playing Planet Coaster, and
I'm so jealous.
yeah,
Is that good? Is that good?
Need to partition
I've heard-
my
We'll talk
Mac
about
finally
things.
to do Windows,
Yeah.
specifically for like games like that. But I'm jealous that you're playing.
It's pretty good, but it's got some frustrating things.
Uh-oh.
I've also been playing a lot of Motorsport Manager, which is pretty cool. And if you like F1 sort of stuff, I don't know. Check me out on Twitch. Whatever. This show is the Bizarre Briefing. Check us out at bizarrebriefing.com. I got it because I looked it up ahead of time.
Nice.
It's spelled just like how it sounds. You can get the RSS. You can get our YouTube, our Twitter.
It's spelled just how it sounds, except everyone on planet Earth spells bizarre wrong, which
That
is
tripped me up so long.
Bizarre.
Like,
Well, shut up. You're listening to it, so you found it somehow. Thebizarrebriefing.com or on youtube.com/scamstuff, where you can find the video version of this and see all of our pretty faces.
Yep.
And with that, that's going to bring it to a close for November 2016. We'll probably see you early January, because I'm guessing we'll be on break in late December. We'll keep an eye out on the Social M for our next live episode.
Though if you did do the last Monday of December, I will probably still be working, so I could Skype in if you wanted to. But I don't know if this is. But then this wouldn't be my last episode. We already made it my last episode. It'd be awkward. 'Cause I'm
you'll be
working
back.
remotely for all of December. We discussed this. I don't know what you're mad at me about, but I'm sorry.
No, I just you can wrap up. You want to? We're wrapping up. the show.
While we're already off,
Are we? Goodbye.
no, like off topic.
Oh, okay. Normally, there's like a minute of waving at cameras.
Sure.
Okay.
So we'll just fill that. When do you guys want to do? So we're gonna do monthly meetings at Rudy's, the same that like the last
Monthly.
Yeah, the last time we did it was when I got hired.
Yeah.
Which was
a few years back.
72 months ago, so we need to make up for that.
Yeah, we need to catch up a little bit in the past handful of years. And so I thought it would be cool to maybe do like sort of a mid-month sort of thing, since this is sort of a meeting just
Yeah.
without Brian.
Yeah.
And then we could have like sort of a mid-month interim meeting with Brian and get
bad.
everybody on the same page of
Yeah.
everything. And then I assume he would buy us all lunch or
God,
whatever.
I hope so.
That'd be good.
So
Yeah, mid-month sounds fine for me.
yeah, maybe we'll hammer that out a little bit closer to the week of.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. All right.
And with that, whatever I just edited as the previous sentence, that's the Bizarre Briefing for November 2016. We will see you guys next time.
Now we gotta wave.
And now we wave.
Bye.
This is the thing that we do.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.